If you are waiting for the government to save your retirement, you are already late. The official cost of living adjustment for 2025 is just 2.5%. That means if your Social Security check is $1,800, you are getting an extra $45 a month. Meanwhile, real inflation on insurance, property taxes, and groceries has surged by double digits in most major cities. The math does not work. And if you stay in a high-cost area, your savings will bleed out until you have nothing left. But there is an emergency exit. It is called Geo-Arbitrage. It means earning your income in $20–25, but living in a town where the cost of living is stuck in 1995. We are not talking about a vacation. We are talking about survival. We have analyzed hundreds of locations based on 3 critical factors. 1. Tax insulation. Does the state tax your Social Security or freeze your property taxes? 2. Resource security. Does the town have its own food and water resilience? 3. The survival score. Can you actually live here on $1,000 a month without relying on debt? Today, we are revealing 10 strategic towns that act as economic bunkers for the American middle class. These are not tourist traps. They are escape hatches. Some are isolated, some are cold, some are deep in the desert, but all of them offer something you cannot buy in New York or Los Angeles: freedom from the inflation flood. If the economy breaks tomorrow, you do not want to be in a condo you cannot afford. You want to be here. Let's break down the list. Number 10. Truth or consequences. New Mexico. This town is not just a quirky name. It is a geothermal bunker for your health and your wallet. Located in the high desert of Sierra County, Truth or Consequences sits directly on top of a massive natural hot spring aquifer. Why does this matter for your survival strategy? Because, as we age, healthcare costs become the #1 destroyer of wealth. Chronic pain, arthritis, and stress-related conditions usually require expensive therapy and medication. Here, the therapy is free or incredibly cheap. You can soak in mineral-rich waters every single day for a fraction of the cost of a single doctor's visit. The economics are undeniable. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment hovers around $650 per month. That is less than half the national average. But the real shield here is the tax code. New Mexico has made significant moves to exempt Social Security benefits from state income tax for lower and middle-income retirees. This effectively boosts your purchasing power by 5 to 10% immediately upon arrival. The town itself is small, walkable, and fiercely independent. The local culture is a mix of old-school ranchers and alternative health seekers. Nobody cares what car you drive. Nobody cares about your status. They care about water rights and staying cool in the summer. And that brings us to the reality check. The desert is unforgiving. Summer temperatures can spike over 100 degrees. If you have respiratory issues or cannot handle dry heat, this is not your bunker. But if you can adapt to the climate, the low humidity and geothermal heating create a unique metabolic advantage. Survival score, 7 out of 10. It is affordable and healing, but the extreme heat is a significant operational risk. Number 9. Pineville, Kentucky. If Truth or Consequences is a desert outpost, Pineville is a mountain fortress. Nestled in the Cumberland River Basin and shielded by the Pine Mountain Ridge, this town is geographically isolated from the chaos of the outside world. But the reason it makes this list is purely financial. Kentucky is one of the most tax-friendly states for retirees in the entire Union. They fully exempt all Social Security income from state taxation. On top of that, if you are over 65, the homestead exemption knocks nearly $46,000 off the assessed value of your home for property tax purposes. This is critical. Property tax is the silent killer of retirement budgets because it never ends. In Pineville, your tax bill is negligible. Rents here are shockingly low, often finding decent housing for $550 a month. But the hidden asset of Pineville is its non-governmental safety net. In small Appalachian towns, survival is a community effort. Neighbors share garden produce. Churches run food pantries that require no paperwork. When the power goes out, people check on each other, This social capital is worth more than gold in a crisis. However, you must understand the trade-off. This is deep Appalachia. The economy is slow, and luxury goods are non-existent. The hospital in town is basic. For major surgeries, you will need to travel. Also, the geography that protects you can also trap you. Flood risks in the river basin are real, so you must choose your specific housing location carefully. Avoid the floodplains, and you have a low-cost sanctuary. Survival score: 7.5 out of 10. The tax shield is powerful, but the flood risk requires due diligence. Number 8. Bonner's Ferry, Idaho. This is the choice for the serious prepper. Bonner's Ferry is located in the northern panhandle of Idaho, just south of the Canadian border. The culture here is defined by one word: self-reliance. People move here to disappear from the system, not to depend on it. Financially, Idaho offers a unique perk called the grocery tax credit. While it is not a huge sum, averaging around $120 to $140 per person per year, it represents a legislative mindset that acknowledges the burden of food costs. But the real value is in the land. This area is incredibly fertile and water-rich. If supply chains break down, Bonner's Ferry can feed itself. Farmers' markets here are not a trend. They are the primary food source for many. Rents are rising slightly due to its popularity with political refugees from coastal states, but you can still find places for around $650 to $700. The energy independence potential is high here, with many homes using wood stoves for heat, bypassing the grid entirely. So, what is the catch? The winter. It is long, dark, and psychologically grueling. If you are prone to seasonal depression, this town will break you. You need to be physically active to shovel snow and maintain a wood supply. This is not a retirement for the frail. It is a retirement for the active, able-bodied senior who wants total autonomy. Survival score: 8 out of 10. High resilience, high security, but physically demanding. Number 7. John Day, Oregon. John Day offers a strategic financial mechanism that few other places can match. It is called the Property Tax Deferral for disabled and senior citizens. Here is how it works. If you are over 62 and meet income requirements, the state of Oregon will pay your property taxes for you. They place a lien on your home, which is paid back with interest only when you sell the house or pass away. This is massive. It effectively keeps thousands of dollars of cash flow in your pocket every year while you are alive. For a retiree living on a fixed income, cash flow is everything. Add to that the fact that Oregon has 0 state sales tax. Every time you buy groceries, clothes, or tools, you are saving 5 to 9% compared to other states. Over 10 years, that compound savings is enough to buy a new car. John Day itself is isolated in the high desert of eastern Oregon. It is quiet, safe, and incredibly slow-paced. Rents range from $600 to $750. The town is surrounded by the Painted Hills and fossil beds, offering stunning natural beauty for free. The downside? Isolation is absolute. You are hours away from a major city. Internet speeds can be spotty, although Starlink is changing that. And medical care is limited to basic clinics. If you have a complex condition requiring weekly specialists, this is not for you. But if you are healthy and want to maximize your monthly cash flow, the tax deferral program is a game changer. Survival score: 7.5 out of 10. Financial mechanics are superior, but the isolation is a logistical challenge. Number 6. Cumberland, Maryland. Most people assume the East Coast is unaffordable. Cumberland proves them wrong. This town is a strategic anomaly. It sits in a valley in western Maryland, cut off from the inflation of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, yet close enough to access their infrastructure if needed. The median rent is around $731, which is a steal for the region. But the survival factor here is Maryland's healthcare regulation. The state operates under a unique hospital rate-setting system that helps stabilize costs. For retirees, access to high-quality healthcare without going bankrupt is a top priority. Cumberland has a regional medical center that punches way above its weight class. You get the low cost of living of Appalachia with the medical safety net of the East Coast. The town itself looks like a movie set from the 1900s, with beautiful brick architecture that is slowly being revitalized. It is walkable, which reduces your dependency on a car, another huge cost saver. The reality check here is economic depression. The town has struggled for decades. You will see boarded-up storefronts and signs of poverty. But for a retiree bringing your own income, this is an arbitrage opportunity. You are bringing capital into a capital-starved area, which gives you leverage. Survival score: 7 out of 10. Great healthcare access and location, but you must be comfortable living in a recovering economy. Number 5. Bluefield, West Virginia. Bluefield calls itself nature's air-conditioned city, and in a warming world, that is a tangible economic asset. The town sits at a high elevation, keeping summers drastically cooler than the surrounding areas. Historically, the Chamber of Commerce would give out free lemonade if the temperature exceeded 90 degrees. Why does this matter? Utility bills. In Florida or Texas, air conditioning can cost you $300 a month. In Bluefield, you might run it for a few weeks a year. That is $3,000 a year back in your pocket. Rents are rock bottom, around $600, and the state of West Virginia is aggressive about attracting retirees. They are in the process of phasing out the tax on Social Security benefits completely. In 2024, the exemption was 35%. In 2025, it jumps to 65%. By 2026, it is 100% tax-free. You are moving into a tax haven just as the laws turn in your favor. The trade-off is similar to Pineville. It is a coal town that has seen better days. It can feel gritty, but the bones of the city are strong and the people are resilient. Survival score: 8 out of 10. Climate resilience and future tax benefits make it a smart, long-term play. Number 4. Presidio, Texas. If you want to opt out of modern society almost entirely, go to Presidio. This town sits on the Mexican border in the high Chihuahuan Desert. It is dusty, hot, and culturally distinct, but financially, it is a fortress. Texas has zero state income tax. That is the headline, but the fine print is even better for seniors. Texas law allows school districts to freeze property taxes for homeowners over 65. This means your biggest tax bill is locked in time. Even if property values skyrocket, your tax bill stays flat. This is the ultimate hedge against gentrification and inflation. Rents in Presidio are incredibly low, often under $600, and because it is a border town, you have access to cross-border medical and dental care in Mexico, which can be 70 to 80% cheaper than in the US. This is medical arbitrage in action. The reality check? It is extremely remote. You are 3 hours from the nearest Walmart. This is not an exaggeration. You must be comfortable with solitude, heat, and a bilingual culture. If you need a shopping mall, do not come here. But if you want your dollar to stretch further than anywhere else, this is it. Survival score: 8.5 out of 10. The combination of tax freeze and medical arbitrage is unbeatable for the adventurous. Number 3. Mountain View, Arkansas. This town offers a different kind of security. Mental wealth. Mountain View is the folk music capital of the world. Every night, locals gather on the courthouse square to play banjos, fiddles, and guitars. It is free. It is communal. It is deeply human. Why is this an economic factor? Because entertainment and socialization cost money in the city. Here, your social life is built into the fabric of the town at zero cost. Arkansas completely exempts Social Security from state taxes. The overall cost of living is 27% below the national average. Rents are around $575. But the safety factor comes from the culture. This is a high-trust society. Crime is low because everyone knows everyone. In a systemic collapse, high-trust communities survive. Low-trust cities burn. The trade-off is the pace. It is slow. If you are a Type A personality, you will go crazy here. But if you are looking for a place where a handshake still means something, this is your bunker. Survival score: 9 out of 10. Social cohesion is the ultimate insurance policy. Number 2. Ironwood, Michigan. As we look to the next decade, one resource will become more valuable than oil: fresh water. Ironwood sits near the shores of Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake by surface area in the world. While the American West dries up and water bills skyrocket, Ironwood has water security for centuries. This is a strategic resource play. Michigan does not tax Social Security benefits, and by 2026, other forms of retirement income will also see massive exemptions. You can buy a solid house here for under $90,000. Rents are around $600. The environment is lush, green, and alive. You can grow a garden without irrigation. You can fish for dinner. The downside is obvious: snow, lots of it. Ironwood gets over 200 inches of snow a year. You need to be prepared for deep winter. But as the climate shifts, these northern latitudes are becoming the new temperate zones. You are buying into the future climate-safe zone at a discount. Survival score, 9 out of 10. Water security makes this the most resilient location for the next 20 years. Number 1. Valentine, Nebraska. And the number 1 economic bunker for 2025 is Valentine, Nebraska. Why? Because of one simple ratio: food per capita. Nebraska is the beef state. Valentine sits in the heart of the Sandhills, one of the most productive cattle regions on the planet. In a supply chain breakdown, cities starve, agricultural hubs feast. Here, you are surrounded by food production. The population density is low, but the resource density is off the charts. Financially, it is incredibly stable. Rent is around $550. Nebraska has been aggressively cutting taxes on Social Security, aiming for full exemption. And recently, they passed legislation to provide significant property tax relief, directly combating the inflation of home ownership. The people here are practical, hard-working, and deeply connected to the land. It is not flashy, it is not trendy, and that is exactly why it is safe. While the rest of the world worries about food prices and shortages, Valentine just keeps producing. The reality check is the isolation and the wind. It is prairie country. It is vast and empty. But in 2025, empty is good. Empty means safe. Empty means affordable. Empty means nobody is bothering you. Survival score, 9.5 out of 10. The ultimate combination of food security, low cost, and social stability. Now, I want to ask you a question that might determine your future. Look at the map. Look at the chaos in the cities. If the economy truly crashes tomorrow, if the trucks stop running and the dollar loses half its value, where would you rather be? Would you rather be in a high-rise condo with amenities you can no longer afford, surrounded by strangers? Or would you rather be in a small town like Valentine or Mountain View, where the winters might be hard, but your neighbor knocks on your door with a venison steak because he knows you need it? This is not a rhetorical question. Your answer tells you what kind of survival plan you need. Are you betting on the system? Or are you betting on people and the land? Leave a comment below. Tell me, what is your survival plan? City services or small-town neighbors? I read every single comment because your insights help build this community's intelligence. Retirement used to be about comfort. Now, it is about strategy. The 10 towns we listed today act as a shield. They protect your limited Social Security income from the ravages of inflation. They protect your peace of mind from the noise of the media. And they protect your future by giving you a community that values resilience. But finding the right town is only the first step. The second step is logistics. You cannot just pack up and move without a plan. Specifically, you need to understand how moving across state lines affects your health insurance. Medicare is federal, but the networks are local. If you move to Ironwood or Presidio without updating your plan, you could be left with zero coverage when you need it most. Do not let a bureaucratic mistake destroy your financial bunker. I have put together a complete guide on how to transfer your Medicare coverage seamlessly when you move to a new state. It covers the special enrollment periods, the differences in Medigap pricing by zip code, and the trap of Medicare Advantage networks in rural areas. You need to watch that video right now to complete your escape plan. Click here to watch How to Move States Without Losing Your Healthcare. I will see you there. Stay safe, stay prepared. And remember, the best time to build your ark is before the rain starts.